Good morning, Beth.
Hi, Miss Wanda. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. How's everything out there?
Oh, everything is fine. We're supposed to have a humid day today.
Ah, all right, all right. I tell you, that's one thing I don't miss is the humidity. It's just plain hot. So, but we don't get humidity.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that dry heat is different. It's entirely different.
It's entirely different. And I am not a sunbather, I'm not, let me go outside in the sun. But I have definitely turned a shade darker since I've been out here, just going to the store. You look well. You look well.
Yeah, I'm doing well. I feel good.
Okay, that's the important thing. And you keeping yourself safe.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Safe. I have my first women's meeting in person on Wednesday. So
Okay.
I'm kind of, yeah, but the protocols are good, our vaccinations required and masking, and they do temperature checks. So
Good.
yeah,
Good.
I just will continue to pray.
Yeah, listen, continue to pray, follow the protocols, and guess what? We can have our own self protocols, because even if everybody else doesn't have on a mask, you can still wear yours.
Oh, most definitely. Yes.
So you take good care of yourself. It might be just us today, but it's only 1 minute after. So we'll give them a few more minutes. And look, if it's just us, we'll have an executive meeting, you and I.
Well, I thought about you and the time difference. I said, well, if Beth can get up and be online, what is 6 o'clock there?
No, it's 3 hours difference. It's 7 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
7 o'clock, but I got to get up at 6 to be ready for you guys. When I first got here, I was like, every morning I was up like 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, I was up. The longer you stay, the more you get adjusted to the time. And it's like, oh, yeah, let me get up. But my husband is up every morning at like 5:30, 6 o'clock, because he takes the dog to the park. He takes Cookie to the park.
Oh,
so he's up like clockwork. and he took her this morning, and now he's off to the gym. I mean, not the gym. Oh, heaven forbid, golfing. He's going to play golf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a golfer. He loves to golf. I'm trying.
You never had a desire?
Let me tell you, when he learned to play golf, we lived in Hawaii, and the kids were little. They were little. So I was home with the kids while he was playing golf. But truth of the matter, no, I never had a desire. I just use that as an excuse, but I've never had a desire to play golf. I should have learned, but oh well, I know how to do other things. So
yeah.
Miss Susan has joined us. Hey, girl.
Good morning. How's everyone?
Everyone is fine. How come we can't see your How come we can't see your glorious face?
I'm eating breakfast.
Well, in nutrition terms, that's a good thing.
Yes, I agree.
That's a good thing you're eating breakfast. You're breaking the fast.
You want to know what I'm eating?
Mm-hmm.
I'm eating egg whites, spinach, broccoli, avocado, and toast.
Oh, she's being real good, Miss Wanda.
I had to, because it's
better than me.
It's nutrition class. I had to.
Okay, well, I'm being bad. Here's my cup of coffee.
Oh. I would have tea, but I don't have any of my chai tea.
Oh, gosh. There we are. Listen, what goes on in the nutrition class stays in the nutrition class. I ain't gonna tell nobody about anybody's appearance or dress. Okay, that's not what we're here for, a fashion show. All right, we just here to be us. So I'm gonna give everybody 1 more minute, then we're gonna go ahead and start. I told Miss Wanda we just gonna have an executive board meeting. That's all. That's all. It's gonna be us. So we're okay. We're okay. So your family as well, babe?
Mine?
Yours. Miss Wanda and I done had our conversation.
I'm sorry. long story, but short story is that me and my husband went to Italy like 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
My daughter
Wonderful.
who was studying abroad there. And the idea was for all of us to come back together. He got COVID in Italy. Yeah.
Oh,
He's
no.
still there.
He's still there.
Yes, he is. I just reached out to his doctor because he got tested again today and he still has it. And I'm
Oh,
like, I think I need to speak to his doctor just to kind of see, because he has high blood pressure and high cholesterol. And, you know, I don't know if that somehow is interfering with, you know, his getting better, because he's had COVID now for over 10 days.
mm.
He's always like, I'm okay, you know, until
He's a man. He's a man.
Yeah.
He's a man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He's a man.
Yeah, so
I tell you.
I'm like, no, you're not, but you know.
Oh, well, we send prayers and hope that it gets better soon and gets home soon.
Thank you.
Oh, boy. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get started. And I noted, remember last month we talked all about some of the different things that you would like to see coming. All right. And so I'm going to try to wrap a couple of things together. But one of the things that I thought might be really valuable for us to talk about, and I hope more people come on so they can share ideas, is the fact, I don't know about you. I've always told you I'd rather go to the food store than the mall. That's just Beth. You know, I can always find something new in the food store. But if you've been to the food store with any regularity in the last 2-3 months, I know that every time I go to the food store, everything costs more. My bill comes out higher and higher and higher and higher. And so I thought we might combine a couple of things together and talk about how we're managing our budgets in terms of food. What are we doing? Are there some things we can do to better manage our money? Are there some things that you guys are doing that you have found out about that we can do? Hey, Miss Shirley. She's there. Hey, darling. So are there some things that we all can do better, some ideas that we can come up with to manage on this budget? Because, you know, we don't want to get to the point where we got to make some choices between, say, medication or this or that or the other. But the reality is prices are going up, guys. Prices are going up. So let's talk. And this is where label reading comes in, believe it or not. Label reading comes into this. So when we first start, okay, one of the things we want to talk about is that kind of can help you manage your budget. Do you all get circulars anymore? Do you all get flyers on? You do? You still do? Okay.
Digitally. I'm sorry, digitally.
Digitally. Okay. I don't care if it's digital or undigital or in your mailbox. I will tell you here every Tuesday, like clockwork, I get a flyer from our 2 big food stores here. Okay. You ever heard of Kroger? Y'all heard of Kroger?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
We don't have Kroger here, but we have Kroger's whatever, and that's called Smith's. And then we have Safeway, which is Bonds and Albertsons. So those are the people that I get a flyer from every single week. And I sit down every Tuesday and look at that flyer because I want to see what's on sale. Okay, especially in the meat department, you know, in my higher cost items, I want to see what's on sale. So one of the things that we can do in terms of watching our budget, and you know what, if we weren't in a, what are they calling it, guys? Inflation. If inflation wasn't going up and we weren't paying more for everything, we still want to be mindful of our budget, because maybe you want to take some of that money from the food that we're spending on food, and maybe we want to spend it on something that we really want to do. Okay, maybe we want to put that aside and go on a trip to Italy, or maybe we want to put that aside and go on a trip to New York City. I don't, you know, whatever you want to do, or you want to do something special for yourself. So one of the things we need to look at is how do we, without depriving ourselves, you know, how can we be mindful in purchasing? How can we stretch our purchasing power? So one of the things we want to do, does anybody on here does anybody on here plan their meals? honestly. I hear, Sister Wanda, I saw you. No, no.
No.
Anybody plan ahead before you go to the food store?
Oh, yes.
I definitely go with a list.
Yes.
You
I
go
do.
with a list. Okay, so you go with a list. And how do you generate that list though?
Look at my refrigerator, look at my cabinets.
Okay,
send it
so
to
you
my
kind of, before you go shopping, you go and you look in your cabinet, you see what you have, and then you generate your shopping list from there. Okay, all right. Does anybody plan their meals ahead? Do you kind of know, like, this is what I'm gonna have this week?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much, okay. Because that's the first step, is kind of planning ahead. One of the rules that, it's not a rule, okay, but one of the things that I try to do is alternate between red meat, white meat, red meat, white meat. And then maybe if I can get away with it, which is rare with my husband, but maybe have a meatless meal in there, like a meatless Monday. But that helps me to plan. If I can say to myself, okay, that I need at least 3 white meats, which you know is fish, poultry, turkey, fish and poultry, and a red meat. And I know they call pork the other white meat, but we consider red meat, beef, pork. All right. And so I'll look at my freezer and say, okay, let me see what's in the freezer. And let me see how I can build a thing around that. And then I look at my flyers and say, what meat's on sale this week? Because I'm telling you, when it's on sale, these days, we need to pick it up. I have like spare ribs should be coming up soon because you know it's getting into barbecue season. So they should be coming up. Y'all may not eat spare ribs. I know y'all may not do the pork thing and y'all may not, spare ribs are high in fat. And I get that. I get that. But the reality is at some point I'm gonna throw something on the grill. Might as well be something that was on sale. That's just the reality of it. Okay. So I'm gonna look. And I love what you all do. One of the things that I do, and you know what, guys, if anybody has any tips, I want y'all to jump in on this. One of the things I do, because look, we always got our phones by us. Don't we always have our phones by us?
Yes.
Everywhere we go, we got a phone. Okay, so in my notes, I have a shopping list.
So do we, yeah.
You got to shop, okay. And what I do is when I run out of it, when I'm using it and I run out, I just type it in the phone before I go to the next thing. That keeps me from having to search and see what I need. I'll do a once over at the very end before I go out the store, go out the door. But in general, if I run out of something, like I ran out of vinegar, okay, I used the last vinegar, vinegar. So then I have it with me. The other thing is I have that list with me all the time. So if I find that there's a few minutes that I can run by the store, then I know what I need. How many people stick to their list?
No.
I share my list too. Like I'll send it to Dan because what happens is like, if he doesn't put on that list, then he'll wind up going to the supermarket to get stuff that he needs, spending more money, you know what I'm saying? And he'll wind up going to Whole Foods, which I don't want him to go to Whole Foods. So I share that list with him. So get it from ShopRite. You're not going to Whole Foods to get, meat or salmon or whatever you want.
We call Whole Foods, and well, my daughter calls Whole Foods Whole Paycheck.
Yeah,
because the prices can be quite pricey there. But I'm not negating that you can shop there, but they also have specials and deals also. And now that Amazon has bought them, some of the prices have come down because Amazon is able to purchase en masse, where when it was just plain Whole Foods, they couldn't. But again, we need to do some comparison shopping.
I do.
Okay. Another technique that I've used to stay out of the store, because I do tend to be, oh, that's cute, that's new and improved. Oh, I could do something with this, and wind up with, 25 other things that weren't on my list. Sometimes what I will do is, does anybody do online shopping at your store and then go pick it up? I know we were doing it at the height of the pandemic, but you know what I find? I find that saves me money. And time, by the way, because I can tell, I go online and go for my shopping list, make that order, let them do the shopping. and pick my time to pick it up. And I do spend less money
Because you're
Mhm.
not in the store.
because I'm not in the store.
Yeah.
I'm not tempted. I don't know about y'all, but I get tempted in a food store.
I
I
do.
love to eat. Y'all know me. Remember when I was there? I was not skinny, will not be skinny, have never been skinny. And so I love to eat. But I find that really saves me money by doing that. Now, I don't do it all the time because I do like to go in the grocery store. I do like to have fun with the grocery store. But had any of you ever thought of doing that since the pandemic? We did it in the pandemic because we didn't want to go in the store. But now, since the pandemic, is that something that you've done? And it doesn't cost anything extra.
No,
No.
no.
And you know
because
what I find?
enjoy being in the supermarket.
Yeah, me
I
too.
enjoy being there too. Believe me, don't negate it. I am in the supermarket more than I want to admit, to be honest with you. The supermarket for me is 5 minutes from here. I could walk to the supermarket. That's dangerous for me. That's very dangerous. But when I have to do some major shopping or like my bulk of the month shopping, sometimes I just let them do it. It's a thought. Don't have to, but it's a thought. But I'm telling you, it's a money saver for me because I'm not tempted to pick up these other things. You know, we have an expression that says the eye buys.
Mm.
So if I don't see it, I can't buy it. Another thing would be comparison shopping. Look and see how much whatever you're looking for is costing at Whole Foods versus ShopRite versus, guess what? You don't have as many there, but Walmart. Because the bigger companies can buy in bigger bulk. So the prices are usually somewhat cheaper. Okay, I think the closest superstore to you guys is what, Kearney? Depending on where you live. No, y'all are looking at me like
Oh, the
Nothing is
the
close.
closest Walmart?
superstore, the one that has the grocery in it.
Nothing is
Oh,
close.
okay, I
to
don't
me.
even shop in Walmart.
Nothing's
But
close
I
to
think it
you.
is,
No.
I think it is Kearney.
It's Kearney, it's Kearney.
I think
So that might not be the greatest option, but some people, you know, one thing we got about St. Matthew, people live all over the place. So
Yeah.
there might be somebody that's close to. Here, out here, we have, not only do we have Superstore, Walmart all over the place, but we also have what they call the Walmart neighborhood market. That's something that really kind of hasn't reached, I don't think reached the Northeast yet, but you go in and it's literally just a Walmart food store. And because it's Walmart, things are a little bit cheaper. Do I shop there that often? No. Why? Because I'm used to going to the regular grocery store. You know, but again, when we're looking for ways to cut our, you know, to have what we want to have, but cut the cost, that's an option. So just remember, the bigger the conglomerate. Remember, Wakefern is ShopRite. ShopRite only has those small amount of stores, so they're buying in large quantity. They're not buying in as large a quantity as some of your other kind of superstore things. Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Wanda.
Yeah, well, here in central Pennsylvania, where I'm from, we have Walmart and we also have a Target,
Yes.
and they're both, you know, the same. Target is kind of an upscale Walmart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're muted.
We can't hear you.
Sorry, I muted myself. Their food selection tends to be a little more upscale and a little more limited. So Walmart, you can get almost anything. And the other thing about shopping at Walmart, because they're so big, they have like odd stuff. If you're looking for things that are really odd, like I was looking for at Christmas, one of my friends was looking for mango chutney. Went to all the stores, nobody had it, but Walmart had it. So if you're looking for something really odd, I would recommend get online and check that. And by the way, Walmart has a shop online and you can pick it up too. All right, so that's for you. That's for you, Ms. Wanda, because they're not near Walmart. All right. So we're making a list. We're checking our cabinets. We're seeing what we need. If we make a meal plan, look at it for the week and you can just kind of sketch it out. What do I want to have on Sunday? What I want to have on Monday, Tuesday. And then you can look at also, well, if I'm having some kind of roast on Monday, I'll have leftovers for Tuesday. Or if you're like my husband, the leftovers get served on Tuesday because she doesn't want, the back to back. We just had that last night. So, okay, no problem. We don't have to have that. We can sneak a white meat in between. But it's a way to keep out because we throw out a lot of food. People throw, look, I shouldn't say we, I'm not going to assume, can throw out a lot of food if we're not mindful of some of these things, of what are you serving? What are you making? All right. So that's another thing that might help. Are any of these things helping? Are they putting off a light bulb or a thought in your heads of something I can do a little different or a little better?
It is interesting to do the, not you, Alexis, my daughter. It is interesting to do the order. I've never thought about that, ordering the food. Maybe that might be something to do like once a month or something like that.
Yeah.
Just, order the food from whatever and then pick it up because you're not tempted. So that's a good suggestion that I haven't thought of.
Or order your staples, your once a month staples, your things that are, bulky or whatever, you can do that. Another thing is eating out. How many of us have seen the prices of eating out going up?
Well, everything's going up. Yeah.
Everything is going up. And I'm gonna tell you, this week we ate at McDonald's. We ate at the Chinese restaurant. What else did we eat at? We ate at someplace else. And guess what? Oh, we ate at the Chinese restaurant twice. And guess what? We didn't leave home. Because one of the things, and no, I didn't go through the drive-through. One of the things that I have learned to do, I search recipes online. So they had a recipe for a copycat fillet of fish. My husband loves fillet of fish from McDonald's. It was a copycat fillet of fish. So guess what? I made it. All it is a piece of breaded codfish on a hamburger roll with a piece of cheese. All the things I had in my house except the piece of codfish, which I went and they had them, like the little frozen bricks. I call them bricks, frozen, made that. He thought he was at McDonald's. Okay. Chinese food, had some leftover rice, made some fried rice, had some shrimp, because he loves shrimp. We got to go with what we love now. I wait till it goes on sale. He loves shrimp. I marinated it, threw it on the grill, threw the shrimp in the fried rice, and made some steamed broccoli on the side. He thought he was at the Chinese restaurant. You can, instead of keeping running out, and you can make a taco. You've been to the Mexican restaurant. You can look at some of these things online, and I guarantee you a lot of the things, the items you already have in your house, because they use a lot of staple items you already have in your house. So they're easy to fix. So when you want to feel like, I really am craving some McDonald's. I don't know if y'all crave McDonald's, but I'm craving some Chinese food or whatever. You'd be amazed how easy it is for you to throw those things together with things you already have in your house. Y'all are laughing at me, right? Y'all laughing at me?
No.
Y'all ever thought about that? Things like that?
I do it.
You could tell me. Thank you, Lord, that I'm not the only one.
How I do it.
Okay.
They have stir-fried vegetables in the store. You can get the fresh stir-fried vegetables, or you can get the frozen stir-fried vegetables. And all you do is saute your shrimp and just put it in the pan, and that's it.
That's it. That's it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And how many of us, when we cook rice, because rice is something you can't cook exactly to the measurement. Brown rice, white rice. I don't know. Every time I cook rice, I got something left over. That becomes easy stir-fried rice.
Right.
Chinese rice. What do you call it? Chinese fried rice. Easy. Throw some frozen peas in there or some frozen mixed vegetables, scramble an egg, and whatever meat you have, if you have some leftover meat, slice it, dice it, whatever you need to do, whether it's shrimp, whether it's chicken, whether it's beef, and throw it in there. And guess what? You have fried rice. You have a meal that has basically all your components in it. You got a protein, you got a starch, you got vegetables. All of those are in there. So think about and those are meal stretchers. Those are great to use leftovers, so that those little teeny pieces of leftovers that you have, so that you're not throwing any food out or letting food go to waste. Just a thought. So let me show you something here. Let me go. Hold on 1 minute. You know me and my sharing skills. That's not the one I want to see. Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
I'm glad somebody understands me. Oh gosh. That's what I'm looking for. Come on. Okay. So planning meals and snacks ahead of time, especially snacks. We can go overboard on snacks. Okay. Another thing is, like I said, find your recipes online. A lot of times I just think of something I want to make and see what it takes online to make it. Include meals that will stretch expensive items, stews, casseroles, stir-fried dishes. Make a grocery list. We talked about that. Check your coupons in the local paper. We talked about that. And clip your coupons. And does any of your stores have like a loyalty card?
Yes.
Yeah, like here, I know the Safeway, so Vons and Albertsons, they have, you'll look on the shelf and they have like a member price. And then they have a, the regular price and the member price. So it might be 50 cents cheaper, but guess what? That's still 50 cents I can put towards something else. Another thing, and I don't know if you have it back home yet, but they have in some of the stores, they will have, now we have digital coupons.
Yes.
If you forget your digital coupon on the shelf, it'll allow you to take a picture or scan the little tag on the shelf, and actually that downloads the coupon into the app. Has anybody ever used that? Do they have that back home? Not yet. It's coming. Believe me, it's coming. Anything to make it simpler is coming. And the reason, one of the things I realized, like this is probably 30 years ago. Yeah, because the kids are 34 and 37. So 30 plus years ago, I realized that a lot of things start on the West Coast and move east. Okay, so things that I might see out here, they're coming. They might not be quite there yet, but they're coming. I realized that when Freddie was about 8 months old and we lived in Hawaii and we came home for Christmas, and out here we had pull-ups. And I went home talking about some pull-ups and they were looking at me like, what is a pull-up? We don't know what that is. Well, a couple months later they had pull-ups, but they had started on the West Coast and moved east. So don't worry, it's coming. Purchase. Now go into the food store. Buy groceries when you're not hungry and not rushed. When you are hungry, everything looks good in a food store. Did you ever know that? Everything looks good when you're hungry. And when you're in a rush, we tend to grab things because we don't take the time to look at the labels. We don't take the time to compare prices because I'm in a hurry. That's why that shopping online is a great thing. Stick to the list and stay out of the aisles that don't contain things on your list. Most of us know our grocery store by heart. I can tell you pretty much where anything is in the grocery store section-wise. So if you don't need something in the soda, candy, and snack aisle, if it's not on your list, don't go down the aisle. Then you're not tempted. Buy brands, buy store brands if cheaper. It used to be years ago. Do you remember when, I forget who it was. I want to say, do you remember when they came out with the generic brands and they were in like a black and white package?
Yeah,
Years
no
when they
frills.
first started that.
No frills.
No
Right.
frills. There you go. No frills. And some of that no frill stuff it tasted like it was no frills. All right. But most of your store brands today, like you might have the Kroger brand, the Signature brand, I'm trying to think what ShopRite had.
I forget.
I can't remember, but they have their own brands. Believe it or not, what they do is they go to, say, the cereal manufacturer and they say, can we want you to put our label on some of the cereals. It's the same cereal in the box, okay? Put your label on Cheerios, and then it becomes, O's. Then it becomes, ShopRite O's or whatever. It becomes that brand name. But guess what? It tastes the same as the other things. Because don't think that the stores sit around and have their own little factories making all these thousands of things. They don't. They go to the people who make it and say, hey, can you slap our label on it? We'll pay you for that. Okay, we'll make a deal with you. So what I recommend is, now, all store brands don't taste the same. We all have our tastes. We all have things we like, things we don't like. Try it one time. Buy a can of something. Like, okay, canned vegetables. In general, ain't too much you can do to a canned vegetable. So you know what? Try the store brand, which is probably cheaper than the national brand, Del Monte, Dole, or whatever. Try a can of the store brand. If it tastes the same or similar to you or meets your needs, guess what? Continue to buy that if it's cheaper. So it's just the thought, because a lot of times we kind of, I don't want to say turn our noses up at, but that's what we really do. We turn on, I don't want that. I need to have, Try it. You might like it. Another thing is coupons. We talked about that. We're going to talk about unit price in a minute. Purchase in bulk, like a Costco. You know, that depends. If you have a family or more than, one or two people in your family, or if it's something that you're going to use, frequently, that might work. Going to a Costco and purchasing in bulk, or Sam's Club or BJ's, that might work. But if it's just you, maybe that's not a great idea. So you have to look at your particular situation and see, is that going to work for me or not? Again, and when you go in those stores, you need to put your blinders on. I'm going for something, because it's very easy in Costco to go in and want 4 items and come out with 44. It's very easy, because I didn't think, what about this? And another thing is, be mindful of your storage space when it comes to refrigerators and freezers. That's another thing. Take ribs. Yes, they're cheaper, but they come in 3 slabs to a package. Can my freezer accommodate that? And am I going to use that? So just be mindful. But it sometimes can definitely save you less. Choose fruits and vegetables that are in season. Yes, you may love peaches, but if peaches are not in season, they're expensive. Go buy some canned peaches packed in their own juice. So try to buy things that are in season. First of all, they taste better when they're in season. Though with the world today, you can get almost any fruit at any time or vegetable at any time during the year, because what do? They fly it from someplace that it is in season. So of course you got to pay for the jet fuel that got it there. So it is going to cost more. Just because you see it in the store does not necessarily mean it's in season. There was a time where we could say that, but now we're a global community. You cannot say that. So know what's in season. If you don't know what's in season, Google it. What fruits and vegetables are in season right now in July? Where are we? We're in May, aren't we? What's in season in May? And be sure when you're Googling to say on the East Coast, on the West Coast, because things that are in season here locally may not be in season for you locally. All right. Also, if there's a deal on them, strawberries, three containers for $12 or $10 or whatever it might be, or $4, whatever. If there's a sale or a deal, always know that you can take almost any fruit and freeze it.
Yes.
So you can get it while it's on sale and make your own sliced peaches, slice up your extra peaches, freeze them, slice up your extra strawberries, freeze them. Because strawberries are usually in season, especially on the East Coast, they're in season about now. They're in season May, June, July. I mean, May and June usually. Asparagus are in season in the spring. They're not in season other times of the year. All right. There we go. Pre-cut fruits and vegetables, individual cups of yogurt, blah, 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 blah. Buy in bulk, make smaller portions. And that's what you put in your refrigerator. And good low-cost items include, good idea to know, proteins. Remember we talked about a meatless meal. And your proteins, your beans are low cost, high in protein. Okay? We're not going to go exotic. We're not going to talk about tofu and some of these other things that can be high protein, low cost. But beans, and they're pretty much there all year round. Vegetables like carrots, greens, and potatoes, again, they're all year round kind of vegetables, so they're cheaper. And fruit, apples, and bananas. And I don't know about your grocery store, but in my grocery store, there's got to be 10 different varieties of apples in any given season.
Mhm.
So you don't even have to feel like you're eating the same. Yes, it's an apple, but it doesn't, they all taste different. Let's put it like that.
Mhm.
I love to give the example of, but again, you got to compare prices. I love Honeycrisp. I love Honeycrisp apples, but they is expensive. Anybody know why they're expensive?
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Because they're a created apple. The farmer takes two different types of apples, puts them together. It's a hybrid, so it costs more. It just doesn't grow naturally. Okay. Not something I like, but macadamia nuts. Anybody eat macadamia nuts?
I do. I do.
You do. Do you know why they're so expensive?
Because they come from Hawaii.
Well, number one, they come from Hawaii. Anything else? It takes 10 years. From the time you plant a tree, it takes 10 years to get the first crop.
Wow.
So all that other 9 years, that farmer's still watering it and taking care of it and doing everything he needs to do to it, spending money on it, but he doesn't get his first crop until 10 years.
Mm.
That's another reason makes things expensive. So, shop mindfully and then prepare. Some meal items can be prepared in advance. Pre-cook on days when you have time. Pre-cook things. If you make a chicken, and girl, one of the best things in the market is a rotisserie chicken, to be honest with you. If you're not a big cook or you don't feel like cooking for yourself, if it's just a family, it's just one, you can do amazing things with a rotisserie chicken and have more than one meal. And not the same thing. It doesn't have to be a sliced chicken. You can do, anybody want to make a suggestion what you can do with a rotisserie chicken?
Chicken salad.
Chicken salad, that's one thing. Give me another one. Miss Shirley, give me something that I can do with a rotisserie chicken.
You can make chicken stew.
Stir fry.
Chicken stew. I can make a stir fry. I can make a fajita. I can make a taco. I can go to a Mexican restaurant. I went to Mexico. I can make pulled chicken. Put some barbecue sauce in it and have a pulled chicken sandwich. Yeah, I can make cream chicken on toast. I can make chicken a la king. I can make a chicken pot pie. So I technically could take a roast chicken and make 1,000 things out of it. And again, I'm saving money. Hey, Sister Matt.
Hey, sorry I was late talking
But
to Johnny.
It's all about you being here.
I got here.
All right, we could double or triple your recipes, okay? And especially for people that live alone, serving one family. So one person, if you go to the Dollar Tree, they used to be $1. I don't know, they may be $1.25, $1.50. They have
$1.25.
$1.25. Okay, they have what I call bento boxes, which is the little black rectangular box.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
With a clear lid, and they usually come 3, 4 something for $1.25. You can make your own quote unquote TV dinners with leftovers and freeze them.
Mm.
Yeah. So don't throw the dribs and drabs away. Make a TV dinner, portion it. And then there are days that we all feel tired. There's days we don't feel like being bothered. There's days that I'm busy. And you know what? You can label it and date it, and you can pull it out, heat it in your microwave, the oven or whatever. And guess what? You have a hot meal that you prepared. So it's good. I talked about that the meatless meals. Oh, and by the way, rotisserie chicken. Oh my gosh, on a salad on a hot day when you don't feel like being bothered. That's a beautiful thing. And add anything to it you want.
Mhm.
We talked about leftovers, and again, being creative. Let your mind go. Anybody have anything that they can, is any of this helpful?
Yes.
Is any of this sending off light bulbs? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't think about that.
No, I didn't think about that, having your own frozen meal.
Mhm,
Make it yourself.
mhm. And you know what? When you do that, here's another thing that it helps with. To a certain extent, it could help with weight control. If we talk about being mindful, we've talked on occasion about mindful eating, being aware, okay? Being aware. Because sometimes we have, okay, how many people still follow the clean plate rule?
No,
Okay, Sister Mippy does. Sister Wanda, you follow the clean plate rule?
no, I put it on a smaller plate.
Okay.
That may be old fashioned. You can eat what you want within reason. But if
Uh-huh.
you put it on a smaller plate, you can't have it falling on the table.
Okay.
It's got to be within there.
Okay,
So
but
th- so
here's the clean plate rule. The clean plate rule is whether you put it on a big plate, small plate, whatever plate,
oh, eat everything. There's a
you gotta eat
commercial
everything
about
on your
that.
plate.
Right.
Yes, there's a commercial about that.
Okay, that's called the clean plate rule. When
Yeah,
people
no.
come to visit me, because the kids aren't here anymore. Okay, when the kids were little, yes, we followed the clean plate rule because I didn't know any better. But now, like if somebody comes to visit, I'd let people know you don't have to follow the clean plate rule.
Uh-huh.
Some of us, because of our generation, because remember, we're raised by parents that came out of the Depression.
Mm-hmm.
They said to you, you had to eat everything on your plate because if you
Yes.
didn't, the children in Biafra were starving.
That's right.
How do we think we was gonna get this cooked food to Biafra? I don't know, but
I don't know.
You know, we also come from a generation, maybe not Susan, but the rest of us come from a generation where when your parents spoke, you said, how high, where you want me to land? That was just what it was.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so now we don't do the clean plate rule in my house. We just don't. Even if you're on a little plate, eat what you want. Okay, but have you ever been tempted to go back to the stove because there's maybe one more piece left? And I know it's not enough for another meal, but I'm gonna eat it because I don't want to waste it. Or there's some more such rice left and I don't want to waste it, so I'm gonna go ahead and eat it. Anybody ever done that?
Yeah.
Tell the
Yeah.
truth. Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now,
yeah.
since we can create our own frozen meals, and guess what? If it's not enough for two, do one, and that could be a lunch.
Mhm.
Can be a lunch, okay? And especially those of us that have husbands or significant others or a child in the house, somebody else in the house besides us, one other person. I know with my husband, if I don't plate it together and make it a meal, they don't know how to go in the refrigerator and take, oh, that's leftover, this leftover, this leftover, let me eat this. They don't know how to do that. So you have to create the meal for them, put it on the plate and say, you know, that's your lunch tomorrow.
Mhm.
Helps me save. And I try to be mindful about what I'm throwing in the garbage can these days.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's a thought, guys. It's a thought. Another clean plate, you go to a restaurant,
Oh,
Some
bring
people have
home a
told me-
doggy bag.
doggy bag. And some people will tell you, you know, I've had people tell me they ask for a to-go container up front
Right. Yes, in the beginning.
in the beginning. So that's another thing you can do. And this is eating mindfully, because when you're full, stop. Don't keep eating because it's there.
Sister Beth, I find as much as I love to eat, as I've gotten older, the hunger pains are there, but I can't eat like I used to.
And eat like I used to either. Absolutely.
I mean, I fill up and I'm tickled about it.
Absolutely. And let me say this to you, with the exception of maybe one person on this line who shall remain nameless, Miss Susan Jennings, the rest of us are probably, as we mature, I'm going to tell you something. We lose our sense of thirst.
Mhm.
Okay.
Gotta push that fluid.
And we lose our sense of, like you said, eating. I can't eat as much. I don't have as big an appetite. Some of that has to do with a couple of factors. Number one, you're not moving as much. Number two, this is when it comes to the eating part. We're not moving as much, so mind is telling us we don't need as many calories. The problem is we usually underestimate how many calories we need. The second thing that may be happening is we're by ourselves. The older we get, the more we tend to be a household of one or smaller household. So some of the joy and pleasure of cooking or the work of cooking becomes undesirable to us. Okay. It's just me. I don't really feel like cooking a whole meal. I'll just grab a bologna sandwich.
Oh,
I said that, whatever, but I'm just saying, I have so much joy in cooking because I'm cooking for somebody else. But if I had to just cook for me, oh, well. Okay. The other thing that, because eating is communal. It is communal. It is something that, and in many societies, it's so communal. We're eating from the same bowl or the same dish. African societies, I can tell you Hawaiian societies, Chinese or Oriental societies, Asian societies, they have community bowls. And everybody eats from the same bowl, whether you're using bread or whether you're taking the rice and putting it into from a community bowl to a little smaller bowl. And then, going from there. But eating is communal. That's what makes eating fun, that we can eat it. My husband gets so upset with me. He puts the first fork in his mouth and says, how's it taste? How's it taste? And he's like, I haven't even tasted it yet. Okay.
mhm.
But that's the joy of cooking. That was a cookbook a while ago, The Joy of Cooking. And the other thing that happens is we sometimes become limited in our mobility as we get older. All right. We might become, look, some of us live in food deserts where shopping is not that close. Look at the people unfortunately in Buffalo last week. And now that the food store is shut down, they were already in a food desert. Now they're in a food worse than a desert. Okay. Because in many of our local communities, it's hard to get to a food store. All right. And then the last thing, our taste buds change. The things we used to taste, we don't taste anymore. So eating is not as pleasurable. If we have teeth that we bought, but we weren't born with, guess what? It's hard to taste food. Or if you lose weight, they become loose. So it's harder to chew. So those are just some of the things that you can come up against as you mature that make you not want to eat as much. But we do need to eat. It's important, okay? Because we tend to get fewer calories than we need. And then the other thing is we need to drink, especially with it getting hotter. It is getting hotter, guys. You need to be drinking. You need to drink at least 6 to 8 glasses of water a day or liquid a day. Now, one of the bottles is equivalent to about 2 glasses of water. So you need to be drinking probably 4 of those a day. Oh, and the other thing is limited mobility. I don't want to go to the bathroom. I don't want to have to run to the bathroom. So a lot of reasons come together to make that happen. Anybody have any thoughts on that? Okay, well, because of that, that's why they tell you when it gets really hot, we need to check on our mature people. I wanted to say senior, but I fall in that category.
You can say senior.
You can say senior because I am proud to be one.
I'm right
Me
there.
too.
I'm right
Tomorrow
there with
I'm
you.
80. I'm
Wow.
80 tomorrow.
Yay!
Happy birthday.
Yay,
Happy
Hey,
birthday.
hey.
And so,
Thank you.
tomorrow I've been married half of Mippy's life. 40
That's
years.
right.
40
I did it.
years? Is it 40 years,
right.
Sister Ben?
40
Is it
years.
That's
40
right.
years.
Congratulations.
Thank you, baby. Yeah, when they broke in, you don't trade them in for a new model.
There you go. There you go.
Oh,
Nice.
so yeah. So to be honest with you, I know I can say senior. I know I can, but like when you get in that category yourself, you want to say more mature, the more mature person. Okay. The more
All
seasoned.
right.
the more seasoned, whatever.
You,
All right.
you hear her, Shirley.
But I don't mind saying senior because I'm
Yeah,
thankful.
you know, we sure don't,
That's right. I'm thankful we made it.
especially Shirley and Mickey.
That's
Well,
right.
look, I might be able to say that, Miss Susan, you got your AARP card yet?
Yeah, I'm 60.
You know, they start at 50.
I'm 60
Yes, 'cause-
years old.
You're
Bet
60?
Johnny let me know
Yeah.
today that he got his AARP. Now he's 46. Johnny was her, what was he? He was your ring bearer.
Ring bearer. Johnny was my ring
Uh-huh.
bearer. So that's
Mhm.
how long I have known this lady on the line here. All right. Another thing we can
Aw.
do is portion control. I know y'all love me, but portion control. So there's a
That's
couple
true.
of, yeah, portion control, seriously. So couple of things that we should, if we're doing any kind of cooking, have in our house to help us with portion control.
Mhm.
Anybody want to tell me what these are? Y'all should know what these are.
Oh, you're
Oh,
measuring
measuring
cups.
cups.
Measuring cups. What am I measuring with these stuff? Do you know what you're measuring?
Yeah, the amount that's going on that plate, or that
No,
you
what
should be able to eat.
specifically are, okay,
I
so we're gonna
measure
talk,
what I cook.
okay, so right, so what kind of measure cups are these? What do I measure in this? Can I measure milk in this?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
no.
Well, I do.
Oh, wait a minute. Yes.
Measuring vegetables.
I measure
Vegetables.
like
Yes.
oatmeal.
So
Any-
let me help you. These are called dry measure cups.
Oh,
It's dry.
okay.
So this
Well,
is
I did-
anything that is dry. This is not for liquids. So if you're doing something that requires you to measure liquids, you need to use a liquid measuring cup. Let me take this screen share off so I can see what I'm doing. Because
Let
you know
me
I
see
can't.
the liquid one, because I've been using the,
This is a liquid.
I
We
know
all got a
okay, oh,
Pyrex.
I have those.
We
I have
all got a
those.
Pyrex measuring cup. Well, this
I
is
have
for liquid.
those.
This is for
I
liquid.
have that, but I have
But I-
the other ones in green.
Well, it don't matter what color they are. Just
No,
so
no,
you
no, I'm
know-
talking about the dry, that you're calling
I-
dry.
Yeah,
Why
Okay,
can't we measure
yes.
liquids? If it is asked for 1 cup of milk, why can't I use my dry measuring cup?
because this is volume. Okay, this is meant for liquid. So volume is different. When we measure liquids, we measure in volume. And when you measure this,
Mhm.
okay, this is meant for something dry because this is not done by volume.
Oh, now we find
I've been-
out after.
Look, I've been doing that all
keeping
along.
house- Thank you, Shirley, after we've been using
Now-
it for 50
Now,
years.
look, let's get real about this whole situation. If you're doing
Right.
anything other than baking,
Okay.
yes, you could. Theoretically, you could.
I don't bake.
You don't bake. So that's why it's not a problem for you. Baking is a science, cooking is an art.
Oh, listen to you. And
Cooking, you can do, you
liquid.
know, you can, it's more forgiving. It's more
Uh-huh.
forgiving.
Oh, okay.
If you bake, it is a science because a tad bit different in this and this, if you're measuring milk,
Mhm.
okay.
can cause your product to be different. Miss Wanda knows, can cause it to be tougher, can cause it to be maybe not as flaky, can cause it to be drier, whatever, or too much liquid in it. It will make a difference in the product.
Mhm.
Cooking, not as much. So if you don't bake, you don't have to
No.
stress so much. But if you do bake, there is a difference.
Okay.
Huh.
Okay.
Now
Um,
you tell us.
Y'all took home economics just like I did, because they didn't stop
Oh, good
teaching that in the
practice.
school
I
before
sure
that.
did.
I
I sure
graduated
Okay.
in 1960.
I took
Everybody
half-
on this line took home economics, and everybody's
Yes,
husband on this line took industrial arts. Okay, it is what it is, what it is.
I don't,
Okay, so
I don't
I'm not
remember
talking
them
about the
two.
young people. I'm talking about
Oh.
us.
Yes.
I don't remember that.
Mhm.
I,
So
Okay.
these-
I took home economics, but it was for half a year and then
That's right.
sewing for the other half.
That's right.
Yes.
All of us did. Right over there at
Uh-huh.
Elmwood School or whatever school you went to. So again, dry measure usually comes with 4 different cups.
I have
Half,
it.
third, quarter,
Yes, yes.
whole. Okay, boom.
Right.
Dry measure. Liquid measure. It looks like this. It
Okay.
has a spout.
I
It
have one of
pours.
those.
Isn't
Yes,
this
yes.
interesting? Look, it's got a spout, and there's a purpose to this
I-
spout. So you
Well,
can
so
pour
does
your
my
liquid.
measuring cups. They have a spout.
Huh?
My
Yeah,
dry
they actually, you know what, Miss Shirley, you're right. They actually do. These do.
See?
Okay.
and then bring them out.
Okay.
Trying to spank us.
No, but you know what? She's right. I don't bake.
I don't
Mhm.
either.
I
may
don't
make
bake.
my apple
When I use
pie,
my
but I'm
measuring
not
cup, if
making
it says
cake.
1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water, I use that same cup.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
And if it's working, like I said, you're not baking or whatever, and it's working. Look, I ain't gonna tell you at this age to change, but I do want you to know the difference.
And be
There's a-
aware.
There's a difference in knowing
I
something and
thank
not
you.
doing it
I love
personally,
knowledge.
as
I
opposed
love
to
knowledge.
not knowing.
Thank you.
Okay.
I love knowledge. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes,
So measuring
yes.
cups. And one of the things that because I love to cook, I have all different sizes.
Oh, look at you.
Okay. So
Look at
this-
you.
I'm just saying, this is a 4-cup measure, this is a 2-cup measure, and this is a 1/4 cup measure. So, you know the things, you only need 1 tablespoon or 2 tablespoons. This is easy. It's a liquid measure, boom. Dollar store, okay? These I love because the measurements instead of having to do this, like with this cup, this, as you pour it, you can see where
I
you're measuring.
haven't seen those.
Uh-huh.
Now I like that.
Dollar store. Don't have to spend a lot. But again, it's portion control.
Yeah.
The other thing, I know y'all have these,
Yes, got those.
okay? Oh, by the way, when you're measuring with this, theoretically, Miss Shirley, it's a level cup. You
Oh,
level.
Yes,
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 yes.
yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Not a
These.
heaping.
I love these. This particular set I love. Because most sets only have a tablespoon, a teaspoon, a 1/2 teaspoon, and a 1/4 teaspoon, right? That's what
Uh-huh.
most sets have.
Mhm.
All right. This set has actually a 1/2 tablespoon and an 1/8 of a teaspoon.
Got that. Yes.
Okay. You don't have to have these. It's okay. It came extra, but I love this. But you need this. So when you're cooking or when you are being cautious on your portion size of your servings, so you have your rice, I need a 1/2 cup of rice, bam, I'm going to use my 1/2 cup measure.
Mhm.
That makes things stretch further when we're being aware of our portion
Mhm.
sizes. Another. Anybody have one of these in their house? You know, I
No,
love them.
what's that?
You
What's
know,
that?
between me and Bernie's cook.
Well,
Nobody knows what this is.
I don't.
no.
This is a measuring cup. Believe it or not, this is a measuring cup.
What kind?
And I'm
Let
gonna
me
tell
get-
you 1 minute because my husband put it together wrong. So hold on.
Uh-oh.
All right, Frederick, come on, baby. All right, boom, boom. Anybody ever try to measure mayonnaise in one of these cups?
No.
No.
No. Okay, how
I
do you
just
measure
spoon it
mayonnaise?
out. I just
Spoon it
spoon
out.
it out.
Okay, measuring cup for anything that's sticky or gooey, peanut butter, mayonnaise, whatever.
Okay.
You lower it like this.
Okay.
So let's say I want 3/4 of a cup. I would fill it up to here. I would level it off, and then I would just push it
Oh, I like that.
so it cleans my sides. It takes everything out. I'm not scraping. I just push it. Bam! It's in my recipe.
Now
So
give
this
us
is a great tool to have. And again, all these things are cheap.
what's it? Wait a minute. Give what's it called now?
It's called a measuring cup.
cup.
You'll see it in the store with the measuring cups.
Okay.
They-
Measuring cup for gooey.
Yeah, and I've had this for you don't hardly read it anymore. I've had this for probably 25 years. Okay, so those are things for cooking or doing. Some other portion things when you're eating. Scoops. How many have ice cream scoop in your house?
Don't have that.
Don't have. You got an ice
Mm-mm.
cream. Okay, scoop sizes. They're a little bit different. You may not be able to see it. This is actually 1/3 of a cup. This is actually 1/2 a cup.
Mhm.
Okay, so a portion size, rice is 1/2 cup portion size, woo. It's on my
Uh-huh.
plate. 1/3 of a cup, same thing. My husband maybe need 1/2 cup, but maybe my little skinny self need 1/3 of a cup, a little smaller.
Mhm.
Scoop. You can get scoops come in all sizes, and you can literally get these. Dollar Store will have them. I ordered mine from Amazon because I was lazy.
Mhm.
Okay. They come in quarter cup scoops, all kinds of scoops. So it's an easy way after you've cooked your food to be aware of your portion sizes. And you know, just like anything else, we're going to level this off. We're not going to hunk it. All right. And like I said, they come in smaller sizes, teaspoon, tablespoon. Miss Susan, love you, girl. And we out of here too. But teaspoon, tablespoon, butter, mayonnaise, whatever. We're being mindful of our portion sizes on our plate. This is a great tool because I find the easier we make things, the more likely we are to do it. If it looks
That's
like
true.
it's going to be hard, I'm not doing it.
Me too.
And that's true.
It's
That is
true.
so true.
It's who we are as human beings. If it looks like it's going to be hard, I'm not going to do it. Okay. And then there's one more slide that I want to show you, and then I'm going to let you guys go. Let me see if I can find it very quickly, and then I'm going to let you go. Let me see. I think it's in this one.
Well, I was late and learned a whole lot.
I'm glad.
Yes, from plan, purchase, and prepare.
Plan, purchase, and prepare.
Was close to the beginning?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
One of the things I found that was interesting was she said to buy your meats on sale. Look at your
Yes.
flyers.
Some things that people are telling us to do now, not that I'm a genius, I've been doing them all along from when I was a single mom, you know,
I have
buying them and wrapping them up and putting them in the freezer. And having the portion control was because it was me and Jimmy at the time, my little Jimmy, you know. I can recall years ago, I could take the free turkey to the butcher and have them saw it in half and only cook half of this little turkey. So I was sort of ahead of myself, I guess you could say, because I wouldn't cook the whole turkey to do the soup and the croquettes and all of that. I would just cook the half for me and my son.
And guess what? That is definitely making a smart choice. And you can still do that today in the food stores. They do have butchers. So
Yeah.
for example, I will buy a, everybody know what a Boston butt is, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Y'all know what a Boston butt is.
Yeah.
So I will buy, because it's just Frederick and I'll buy a Boston butt. I will ask the butcher to cut it in half because they're big. I will make pulled pork out of one half of it in my crock pot. I love my crock pot. I will make pulled pork in my crock pot, and then I will turn around and make something else out of the other half. I was going to tell you what I was going to make, but I know it wouldn't make no sense to you what I'm going to say. But anybody ever been to the Chinese restaurant and had pork fried rice? Okay,
Yeah.
you know those little small pieces of pork that are in it that are red looking?
Yeah.
Okay, that's called char siu. That's what it's called. It's called char siu. So I'll take the other part of my Boston butt and make char siu.
Oh, okay.
Okay, which I can use when I make other dishes. Now, that's what I do with it. But I'm saying you can have the butcher, you can ask the butcher in the store to cut any piece of meat for you.
Yes.
Okay, use him. And you know what? It's free. You know, I love free. If it's free, it's for me. If it's free, it's for me. So use your butcher in the store. Get to know, like you get to know your pharmacist, get to know your butcher. They would love somebody to talk to them because they're in the back cutting meat all day long. They would love somebody to talk to them. All right. So that's another thing that you can do. And then the very last thing, guess what? I found it. And then we started talking about something else. But let me say this to you. Unit pricing in the supermarket. Does anybody know what unit pricing is?
Oh gosh,
Yes.
yeah. I know it when I see it.
Who uses it? Who uses it? Huh?
I use it.
I do too.
Because if
Okay.
if it's
How do you use it?
How do I use it? I really can't explain it, But I do know that when I do the unit price, it's the price for the smaller amount. It's for that, not the whole thing. It's just for that unit, that one particular unit.
Yeah.
Okay,
And so that's the unit price is always smaller. So they tell you what the unit price is, and then they tell you the whole price.
correct. Now,
Yeah.
unit price allows you to compare, because one of the things manufacturers are doing now, instead of raising the price, because they realize that the price of stuff is going up on everything. So some manufacturers, instead of raising the price,
They make the
Are they-
item smaller.
they're making the item smaller.
Mhm.
All right. So it may look like the cost is equal on some things,
No.
but you don't know that for sure. So unit pricing on the shelf gives you the total price of the item,
Mhm.
and then it will break it down. So let's say, for example, we're talking about cereal. Let's take, we're talking about cereal. Unit pricing will give you the price per ounce.
Mhm.
This allows you to compare different items
Yeah.
of the same category.
Mhm.
All right. So you can look on the shelf and you can see, let's use an example. We can see Cheerios who are made by Post, let's say. General Mills. Cheerios made by General Mills. And maybe the unit price on that, maybe the total price is, let's say $10. No, let's say $5. But the unit price is 81 cents an ounce.
Mhm.
So you'll see that 81 cents there. Now, you can go to, let's say, the store brand. The store brand is $5, but the box is bigger.
Mhm.
So maybe the unit price on the store brand is 61 cents an ounce.
Mhm.
It's the same total cost, but you got more
Mhm.
For your money.
in the
Mhm.
other package.
Yeah.
And this helps you to shop
Smarter.
more cost effectively.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Now, hear my heart. I told you most store brands these days, because they want you to buy the store brand. They don't want you to buy Del Monte. They want you to buy the store brand. They make more money on it.
Mhm.
But if you don't like the store brand, if you've tried it and you know, the taste is just a little off, I really need to have my Cheerios,
Mhm.
then by all means, buy your Cheerios.
Mhm.
But if the product is equivalent to you, if it really doesn't, I've tasted both, they really taste the same because they probably came from the same place. They really taste the same. Why would I spend
More money.
more
Yeah.
money to get less product?
Yeah.
So I want you to be mindful of unit pricing. Just don't snatch something off the shelf because it's, I'm looking at two items. One is, $3.49 and one is $2.49. Okay, well,
Mhm.
I'm gonna get the $2.49 one, but maybe the $2.49 is that price because it has less in it
Mhm.
Mhm.
and the unit price is
Mhm.
higher. So don't
Mhm.
shop. We don't want to shop we don't want to shop when it comes to packaged goods, dry goods, those things that are on the shelf, milk, whatever. Well, no, milk tends to be all the same, but things that come in different sizes,
Mhm.
just don't assume the cheaper total price is the best buy.
Mhm.
Shop your unit prices, guys. That's important
Mhm.
in saving money.
Mhm.
Anybody want to add anything to this? Before we go, we're getting ready to close out, but anybody want to add anything or make some suggestions or talk about it? What?
Best.
Okay. And last thing, one of the things I'll say when planning a meal, and we all do it, and the US is probably the biggest culprit in this one. We tend to say, what do you tend to plan first in your meal? What's the first thing you do?
My meat.
Your meat. Because we always assume the meat has to be the star. But sometimes, like other cultures, like the Oriental culture, Italians are good at this, different cultures, they plan the sides, and then the meat becomes an accompaniment. Should I say it that way? So in other words, what I'm saying, let's say Oriental cooking, the rice becomes the star, and they use the meat almost as an accompaniment. you can get the same, well, you can get what a normal portion would be. If you understand what I'm saying, you can get a normal portion. We tend to, because we've been more blessed, that's the best way I can put it, we tend to look at huge portions. So if I don't get a huge portion, then I didn't get enough. If I don't go to a restaurant and it's not falling over the sides of my plate, I didn't get enough. Never mind that that's enough for 3 meals.
Now, John's same difference. I hear what you're saying, being one of 7. His mother fixed a baked potato for each of her children so that she knew they were full. You know, they weren't hungry. So now you got, I'm listening to you talking about the pot of rice, but this is potatoes.
Same
And
concept.
they can be small, medium, and large.
But you know what? You could take a baked potato and make a meal out of it, because mommy was doing it out of financial, you know, we got to make stuff stretch, which we're getting back to those days. You could take a baked potato. How many of you?
Oh, yeah, they used to do it in the hospital for lunch. I know just what to do.
I guess I was getting ready to say, you could take a baked potato and you can dress up a baked potato. We call it loaded baked potato, where you don't have, you don't have to load it with all those high calorie foods, but you can put like some barbecue pulled pork on it and do this.
Broccoli.
And do that. Broccoli. I got some leftovers.
Yes.
Okay, little bit of leftover, but I can take that baked potato. I can do some things with that little bit of leftover, or that stuff I bought in the restaurant when I took my to-go bag home. That sits in for me, I rarely take a to-go bag home. I would rather just say I'm done, because I know what, for a lot of times what'll happen, I'm getting better. What'll happen, it'll come and it'll sit in the refrigerator for days and days and days and days, and then I'll eventually decide I got to throw this out. Okay, but mindful eating means we're not only mindful of our fullness, we're mindful of our budget, we're mindful of what's going in. So we're thinking, we're not just doing stuff automatic anymore. Okay.
That's true. Love this. Love you. Love you.
I love you all. You know I love you. Like Nana used to say, I love you like a schoolboy loves his pie. And I know y'all have heard that.
Oh gosh.
But it's been awesome. I hope we got through some things. I hope you kind of got something from this. Let me ask this. So, Sister Shirley, tell me one thing you learned today that was new to you.
I learned about that liquid measuring cup.
That liquid measuring cup. Okay. All right. Hey.
And the gooey measuring cup.
And the goo-goo measuring
and the
cup.
gooey
one. Yes, Shirley.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to go look for that.
Okay. Sister Wanda, what'd you learn today?
Store brand purchases.
Store brand purchases. Okay. Okay. Try one every time you go. Try to substitute a store brand with something you'd normally buy and see if there's a difference. You know, if it's an acceptable item, then you know that's something that you can incorporate. Now let me give you 2 examples. Condiments. For me, for Beth. Ain't nothing like Heinz ketchup. I don't care how much it costs. I'm gonna buy Heinz because I don't like Hunt's. I don't like store brand. I don't like, but I've tried to at least be able to know that that's not my preference. Okay.
Yeah.
Mayonnaise is the other, and that's going out of sight. Okay.
Yes.
Other things. By the way, if it's something if you're knowing your prices, if you're in the store enough, you know your prices. When something goes on sale, 4th of July is coming, mayonnaise will go on sale. I promise you. Why? Because everybody's taking potato salad or macaroni salad to the picnic. So it'll go on sale. Stock up, get a few extra, because as soon as that holiday is over, mayonnaise is going back up. And in the winter, it's crazy.
Just check your expiration dates.
Check your
usually pretty good.
Yeah, usually these days things are usually pretty good if they're
a couple of years ahead. A year.
Mayonnaise, I don't know about a couple of years, but it's at least a year. It's at least a year. So that's another thought. Oh, one more tip. Does anybody use milk a lot?
You can freeze milk. I know that.
You definitely can freeze milk, but in like, you know, unless you're a cereal eater, you have somebody in the house who's a cereal eater, a lot of times you don't use up your milk before it goes bad.
Right, I don't.
You don't? Okay, so a couple of thoughts on that. Number
He
one,
gets a smaller one.
a smaller one, if you can get it. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Here we have milk that comes in like you used to get in school. So they come in like
Okay.
2 cup, like a pint. You can buy milk by the,
Okay.
all right.
Yeah.
So that's one thing.
Okay.
Every store doesn't carry that. Another thing, I call it shelf milk. Y'all may call it Parmalat. Y'all may call it, but it's what it's called is UHT milk. You will find it not in the refrigerated section, but you will
No.
find it on the shelf.
Uh-huh. With
Okay.
with the almond milk and all those other goodies
Powdered
over
milk.
there.
With the
Yeah.
powdered milk. Like,
Yeah.
like in that section.
Uh-huh.
Those, first of all, though they come in about a quart size, but because they're called what we call it is called UHT milk, ultra high temperature. The way it's pasteurized, it's shelf stable until it's opened. And even after it's open, it has a much longer shelf life. So if it's something that you only use a drib and a drab, you know, to make something or whatever, and then ain't no sense in letting milk go to waste, that's another thing that you can do. Okay, is that making sense to you what I'm saying? You buy the
Yeah.
UHT milk, sometimes they can come in a quart size or they can come in the little smaller pint size like a kid would drink. All right, use that so that stuff does not go to waste. Also powdered milk, I don't feel like being bothered with powdered milk, but another thing you can use is evaporated milk, by the way, not condensed,
That on my shelf.
Evaporated.
evaporated.
Yes.
But
in
if
my
you're-
coffee.
okay, other than your coffee, I'm talking about to cook with or whatever, you can use evaporated milk. All evaporated milk is regular milk that has half the water removed. So a half a cup, do you want a cup of milk? It's a half a cup of evaporated to a half a cup of water. Stir it up, regular milk. All right. Those are things that I find that I tend to throw in the, you know, they go bad. So I started doing other things. All right.
Pretty good about that. John gets he eats his cereal every day.
Yeah. If you
But
have a
he
cereal
gets-
eater in
He
your house,
either gets ShopRite does have, it's not even a half a gallon. He gets the smaller one and he uses it up and then gets another one. So,
Yeah.
but I know and I raised Jimmy with Carnation powdered milk because of the pediatrician. Initially, it was mix a quart of that with a quart of milk and then start leaving out the real milk. And I did that for years. We couldn't tell the difference. Once you get the taste, go ahead and say you got to get the taste and it's got to be
No,
smooth.
but you can get adjusted to anything. We first got married, my husband swore up and down whole milk. That's all I drink, or the only thing I want in my house. I'm like, okay, buddy. So for 6 months, I bought all the milk that came in the house, and I used to buy it by the gallon because, you know, it only had the little teeny label on the top. They don't read. They don't read. So after 6 months, I said, okay, when you go to the store, I need low-fat milk. I don't drink low-fat milk. That's what you've been drinking for 6 months. Go to the store and get the low-fat milk.
Listen, in my time, it was skim milk, and they didn't want skim. Now it's called low-fat.
Or 2% or 1%.
1%.
Oh, yeah.
You're still-
Yes, Shirley. The
you're still
1%, the 2%.
You're still cutting your calories. You're still cutting the saturated fat, and you're doing yourself a favor. So
Yeah.
guys, I love you because, you know, the
I
four
love
of us
you.
could stay on here the rest of the day, but I love you, but I know y'all got
I
stuff
love
to
you
do.
more.
Yeah, I need to go.
Okay.
Listen,
And you
this is what we're
enjoy
gonna do.
your anniversary.
Yes, we're going to, thank
Enjoy.
you. We're going to meet next month, and then we'll break for the summer, July and August, and we'll come back in September, but we will be
Okay.
here next month, okay?
All right.
Love
Okay.
you guys.
Love you
Bye.
too.
Love
And
you.
thank
Love you.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
Happy birthday, Mip.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.